Hey, Brain.
Green.
Hi.
Hola.
Hola. ¿Cómo está?
Muy bien. Es un buen día.
Ooh, somebody got a little echo going.
Uh-oh.
It's Your God Call with Reverend Bill.
There is a handy and convenient way that you can remind yourself of the truth of who and what you are. It's your breath. All you need to do is when you're breathing in, and you're going to be breathing in anyway, you say, I breathe in love. And then as you breathe out, which you're also going to be doing on a regular basis, you say to yourself, I breathe out peace. Repeat, I breathe in love. I breathe out peace. And more, that becomes the truth of your life.
How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must the cannonballs fly before they are forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years can a mountain exist before it's washed out to sea? How many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? How many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the How many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? How many ears must one woman have before she can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till they know that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the
Beautiful, beautiful. So we got Zoom applause, which is where we can wiggle our hands, and you can actually make your hand clap movements too. That's noticeable. For the most part, we're going to keep our microphones muted, and that's just because otherwise it turns into a complete cacophony. However, there were going to be a few times during the celebration this morning where we're going to ask you to go ahead and put your microphone off mute, turn it on. This is one of those times because I'm going to say, good morning, New Thought, Philadelphia. Happy Labor Day weekend. And go ahead and repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
I love that cacophony. I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to crisp autumn weather.
I open myself to crisp autumn weather.
I know good is right here, right now.
I know good is right here, right now.
And so it is.
And so it
is.
is.
I'm Reverend Bill Margione. Our music today is the incomparable Avi Wisnia. And our master of ceremonies and practitioner of the day is Breen Rourke, RSCP.
Hey, thank you, Bill, and thank you, Avi. Oh, I love that song. I'll talk a little more about that later. But New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in a welcoming and empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you with us today, wherever you're going next, we've been waiting for you, and welcome. We believe there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything, including each of us. And that we each use that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. Or, as we like to say, our new life begins with a new thought. So right now, I invite you to, if you have a cell phone or some other device you're not using to Zoom us, shut that off, because you don't want to be disturbed. You don't want to be that guy whose cell phone rings in the middle of meditation. Words. They're good. I like them. We begin celebration the way we begin everything, with a practical prayer. And this morning I will be leading the prayer. So I invite you to just take a moment to relax and settle into this moment now, letting go of technology and wondering what you're going to do later today and the holiday weekend, and just be here now in this moment. This one moment is all we have. And this one moment is all we have. It is everything here now, because we are all one. Divine expressions of the infinite, manifesting here and now. So know, as we come together to share in this celebration, we bring our energy, we bring our intention, we bring our light to this celebration of New Thought Philadelphia. We are lifted, we are inspired, we are guided. We deepen into that connection of oneness. This time is blessed, this time is sacred. And everyone here, everyone everywhere benefits from this celebration of oneness. So I'm grateful for this time, grateful for the celebration, grateful for the technology that brings us all together from all parts of the world, because it is all one and we are all connected in infinite ways. So with love and gratitude, I claim this good for this celebration for New Thought Philadelphia, for everyone here, for everyone listening, for everyone everywhere. This good is here, and I claim it. And knowing this is so, I release this word into the creative law, the law that always says yes, and so it is.
So it is.
Okay. So the reason that we do prayer is because it works. And we like to hear from the community if folks have a prayer work story they'd like to share how prayer is working in their lives. So you can just raise your hand, you can jump up and down, you can say, yo, whatever you'd like to let us know, you've got a prayer work story you'd like to share. Joe.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
Yeah.
So my friend Anne, I had put a prayer request in for her. She had surgery on her neck a few weeks ago. She did really well after surgery, and I talked to her this week. She is no longer using the walker, and she's starting to get some sensation back in her hands. So we're all thrilled. We're really, really happy about that. So just wanted to let everybody know.
Yay. Thank you. Who else? Carla?
Hi, everybody. So I'm on a job hunt. I'm job hunting, but I haven't been working so hard at it, which is, had its pros and cons. But my spiritual practices group did a practical prayer for me, and Kathy Shefsky did a wonderful practical prayer for me. And Reverend Bill has done a bunch of practical prayers with me and meditations, and Reverend Dave. And I got a consulting project with Temple University without ever applying for it. They reached out to me, and we've been talking for months and months and months, but they called the other day and they're like, okay, we don't know what to do. And you do, so could you help us? And it was really very flattering and very wonderful. And then I also applied to a job about a week and a half ago, and I got a screening interview that was on Thursday. And it was only supposed to be 15 minutes. It was a little over, it was about 20, it ended up being 25. And the person that interviewed me said twice, what a great idea, while we were talking during the interview. And then there was a person that was one, she didn't speak, she introduced herself. And then at the end of the call, she didn't say anything until the end of the call. And then she's like, I learned a whole lot. Thanks for having me. And I didn't invite her, you know? And so it kind of bodes well that little screening interview went. But no matter what happens, I have a consulting project that has a very good chance of turning into a job if I wanted to. So thank you, New Thought Philly, for my new position. You are all so wonderful. Thank you.
Yay.
Yippee.
So prayer works. If it's healing, if it's job stuff, whatever it happens to be, prayer works. So I highly recommend it. I know now, I think, yes, we're going to do announcements. Yay.
Our announcements this morning. This illuminating information can be found on our website at newthoughtphilly.org. Our Beyond Limits class is 10 power-packed sessions to introduce the principles of New Thought that will transform your life. It will begin Monday, September 14th from 7 to 9:30 on Zoom, and optionally, if it ever becomes safe, we will be in person. Tuition is $200, and please register now. We do have slots available.
And just a quick note on this class. This is our introductory class on New Thought. This is transformational. This is how you go from 0 to 60 on the New Thought teaching and create some absolutely spectacular things in your life. So if you've been thinking about it, join on in. If you haven't been thinking about it, then think about it and then join on in. And if you've taken the class before, you can audit for half price. So let us know what you're interested in doing. And class starts a week from Monday.
Beautiful. The half-day practical prayer for real results workshop is on Saturday, October 3rd from 12:30 to 5. You'll learn the scientifically proven steps of effective affirmative prayer that are common to virtually all the world's religions and spiritual practices. It's included in the Beyond Limits class, or you can take it on its own for $25. I took the practical prayer for real results workshop about a year ago, and I found it to be like definitely helpful. It goes through all the different steps, and it's kind of group based too. So I highly recommend it. It was pretty great. Okay, now we can go ahead and talk about our daily meditations. So we do a community check-in and meditation twice a day. They're fun, inspiring, and transformational, and they're less than 15 minutes. Easy peasy. Monday through Friday, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the evening. It's like bookends for the workday. And then Saturday, it's at 9 a.m. and Sunday, it's at 6 p.m. It's open to anyone, and we use the same Zoom meeting that we used for today's service on those calls. Please join us on our Philly Spiritual Adventurers group on meetup.com. It's a great way to let everybody know that you're involved. The Power of 8 intention setting group is based on the program created by Lynn McTaggart. The group will meet every Monday at 4:30 for a half hour to help bring new experience into the lives of all the group members. It'll be run from Labor Day, which is tomorrow, through Halloween. Ooh, that's fun. I like that. It starts on Monday, and you can contact Sandy if you'd like to join the group. Our statement on moving beyond white supremacy is on the website. The work we're doing is continuing. To join the group, contact Reverend Bill. You can make a donation, and we gratefully accept them on our website via credit card or PayPal. You can use the donate button right there on our website, which is shown, or you could mail a check to the office in Ardmore if you would like. One thing I do want to mention also is that the Women's Circle meets the fourth Thursday of every month by Zoom. You can also contact Joe or Sandy about that as well. Beautiful. Oh, thank you to our production team who make the Zoom celebrations work. There is a short technical rehearsal Saturday afternoon and a final check-in before our celebrations on Sunday. If you would like to join our team, come talk to me. Next Sunday, our special guest speaker will be an insightful and inspiring woman named Martha Creek. Reverend Bill and the practitioners are available for healing prayer, so contact them through the website, or after the celebration, the healing prayer team offers Miracle in a Minute sessions at no charge. Breen will be available for a Zoom breakout after the celebration today. We'll leave the Zoom meeting open for people to talk amongst ourselves. Thanks.
Hey, thank you, Sarah. So now's the time we'd like to welcome new folks, people visiting us for the first time. If anybody's with us for the first time and wants to acknowledge, you can wave, you can turn on your camera, you can hit us in chat. Hi, Karen. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. Please feel free to reach out on our website. You can sign up, give us your email, sign up for a newsletter. You can join the meetup, and we'll stay in touch with you any way that you want, if that means daily emails or never hearing from us again, whatever you like. So we're going to give you a special blessing. So everybody rub your hands together. And we'll send out some love and warmth. You are the bright light of divine love. Thank you for sharing your light with us, and welcome. So now is the time when we meet in person that we usually greet each other and we go around the room hugging and saying, hey, how you doing? But we're not in the same room, but we're in the same Zoom. So you can put it on gallery view and look around like the Brady Bunch at all the beautiful people and smile and wave. And Avi's going to sing us another song.
The first one today was a Bob Dylan tune, and this one comes to us from a band called My Morning Jacket. Time to roll the ants that floats down the farthest shore of the mind. Roll the dice that sail the ship, and all the doors will open on down the line. Turn to wrong, a lesson learned and then forgotten over in our time. In that moment I awoke among the smoking mirrors. I was blind. Believe, 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 believe. Nobody knows. Believe, 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 believe. Nobody knows for sure. It begins, a baby's born, the elders down, all in their time.
Thank you, Avi. All right, now we're going to do the flames of faith. And Sandy is going to read for us, I believe.
Yep. We perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous people, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone or any place you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. And now we're going to have a reading, and it's from Ernest Holmes' This Thing Called You, brought to us by Kathy.
Everything you have ever thought, said, done, seen, learned, or experienced has left an imprint upon your subconscious mind. This subconscious also contains memory, images of your family life, your ancestral background, and the sum total of what the world has thought or believed. These memories are not dead things, quite the reverse. They are always active, but there is more to it than this. Just as you are being acted upon by your own memories, the mind of history, and your environment, you are also being acted upon by the mind of God, which is within and around you. Between this divine presence, this upper part of your being, and your outward experience, there is a field of subconscious reactions which have been gathered up throughout the ages. But you are a creative and not, but you are a creator and not a creature. Today you must be suffering from the effects of race consciousness and your own beliefs, but today you can begin to change them. Say, I know that I am one with God. I know that God in me is perfect. I know that my real nature is spiritual. I know that I exist in a boundless good, in a heavenly state and imperfect being. I know that my mind is being acted upon by a pure spirit. Divine intelligence guides me into peace, happiness, and success, into joy, love, and perfect life. The desire you have to be something, to do something, is a mental echo in your mind of the spirit which already exists within you. It is an impact of your divine and spiritual self upon your mental or psychological self. It is the spirit in you seeking an avenue of expression through you. It is the real self you would like to be, the deep spiritual self, having all knowledge, having access to all power, being one with life. This is the self that can heal the sick and raise the dead. It is a transcendent, triumphant self. While it is true that suffering exists in the world, that poverty and unhappiness have been the common experience of mankind, it would be an unwise person who would ascribe these negations to the divine will. Those who would deny you the privilege of having the things you so earnestly desire in this world hope themselves to receive them in the next life. You are assuming that you are an immortal being now. You are assuming that the good which exists in the future already exists in the present. Therefore, to place your good in the future is merely to delay your entering into the kingdom of heaven now. You are selfish only if you would affirm a good for yourself, which you would withhold from others.
Many nights we prayed with no proof anyone could hear. In our hearts a hope for a song we barely understood. Now we are not afraid, although we know there's much to fear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe, somehow you will. You will when you believe. Now in this time of fear, when prayer so often proves in vain, hope seems like the summer bird too swiftly flown away. Yet now I'm standing here, my heart so full I can't explain, seeking faith and speaking words I never thought I'd say. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe, somehow you will. You will when you believe. They don't always happen when you ask, and it's easy to give in to your fear. But when you're blinded by your pain, you can't see the way to get through the rain. A small but still resilient voice says hope is very near. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve
Bill. Thank you, Avi. There's been some discussion lately about people breathing in argon, and question about that. So just out of curiosity, if you have not been breathing argon, show of hands if you have not been breathing in argon. Some people would be okay to say, I don't breathe in argon. I never breathe in argon. Why would I ever breathe in argon? Well, the fact of the matter is argon makes up about 1% of the atmosphere. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. 1% of that was argon. By comparison, 0.04% is carbon dioxide. So there's considerably more argon in that breath than there is carbon. Another deep breath in. Be filled. 21% of that is oxygen, which is the one that we all pay attention to. Oxygen is good. The rest of it is mostly nitrogen. And knowing what we're breathing is important. It's valuable. It can give us some insight. At the very least, it can keep us from saying, I don't breathe argon. Because we've been breathing argon for a lifetime. And argon has been around forever. It turns out there is only one way that argon, the argon that's in our atmosphere, is created. And it's by the decay of potassium. Radioactive decay of potassium-40. And that, you know what a half-life is how long it takes for half of it to decay. The half-life of that particular potassium is 1.25 billion years. That's where the argon came from. It's been around for a long time. And it's completely inert. That 1% argon that's in the atmosphere is the same argon that humans have been breathing since the beginning of humans, and was available to all of the creatures that have been there all the way back. And I bring this up because it shows us, first of all, how connected we all are. That's the same argon that the people who, the prophets who are, lead all these major religions, that's the same argon they were breathing. Across continents, across centuries, millennia, it's the same. We're all connected. We're all breathing that same, and it's exactly the same argon. It doesn't change between times. And there's other stuff that's in the air. That's what Ernest Holmes was talking about in the reading, is that we have things that we believe, that we know we believe, and we have other things that we believe that we don't know we believe. And some of those are things that we believe because we've always believed them. In the same way that the argon is in the atmosphere, it's always there, it's always been there, whether we're aware of it or not. So we can make claims about it. If somebody says, I never breathe argon, they'd just be mistaken. They would have to say, I never wittingly breathe argon. Our friend Robert D. McDonald has 4 questions that we really are very good to use for setting an intention and tweaking your life. The first question is, am I happy with the experience of life that I'm having now? And if the answer to that is yes, then you don't really need to pray for anything because you're already happy with where you are now. The second question is, if you answered yes or no, that you're not happy with the experience now, the second question is, what experience do I want to be having instead? And the final 2 questions are about creating that new experience for us. But what if you don't know there's a different answer to the first question? What if there's an assumption that you're happy with life, with everything the way that it is now? In that case, we could be ignoring lots and lots of possibilities. So there's an interesting scientific study that was done, and there are 2 versions of the scientific study. One is the completely dry as a piece of toast 6-page paper that was published in 1967 by Gordon Stevenson. It's called Cultural Acquisition of a Specific Learned Response Amongst Rhesus Monkeys. And the cartoon version of it is a more entertaining story, but it's the same fact base. So a group of scientists took 5 monkeys and put them into a cage and hung a bunch of bananas on the top of the cage and then put in a ladder, a stairway, so the monkeys could get up to the bananas. And of course, one of the monkeys decided, hey, I'm gonna go get some bananas. And what happened was the scientists sprayed the monkey and all the monkeys with cold water. And the monkey retreated. And every time one of the monkeys tried to go get the bananas, the whole group got sprayed with cold water. And it got to the point where none of the monkeys would even try climbing up the ladder. And scientists swapped out one of the monkeys. So now there's a naive monkey who doesn't know what's going on. And he sees the bananas and he heads for the ladder, and all the other monkeys attack. They do not want the cold water. Do not go up there. And they stop the monkey from going up there. And every time that monkey tries, he gets attacked. So he too never climbs up the ladder, and the group never gets sprayed. They replace another one of the original monkeys with a new naive monkey. And the same thing happens. That new monkey goes and tries to climb up the ladder, and all the rest of the monkeys attack to keep him from doing it, including the one who had never been sprayed with water. He learned that behavior from the other monkeys. They continue the experiment until there are 5 monkeys and none of them have ever been sprayed with water, and they still attack the newcomer who tries to climb up the ladder. That's the way we've always done it. We've been breathing out argon forever, and that's just what we do. I used to work in the digital publishing business. I was running a production shop, and I noticed one of the graphics technicians, as she was processing one of the files, was applying some really clever workarounds to make the process work properly. And I said, how come you're doing that? She says, oh, well, that's to make it compatible with this, that, or the other thing. And it's like, yeah, that was actually a bug in the software, and they fixed it 3 years ago. So you have actually, for the last 3 years, been fixing a problem that doesn't exist. And that was illuminating for lots of us, because how often do we do that? How often do we do things the way that we've always been doing them, just because that's what we do? Because it doesn't, we haven't taken the opportunity, the initiative to think, why are we doing that? And when I first studied this New Thought philosophy, religious science, and Ernest Holmes used the term race consciousness, that's what he's talking about. It's the stuff that we do because that's the way that we've always done it. That's the things that we as a species, as a culture, believe. That's what we do. That's the way that we act and interact. And it has only been recently, and race consciousness doesn't necessarily have anything to do with racial beliefs or racism. But the stuff that's been going on recently with the unrest and the protests and the obvious inequality that's going on in our society, racist consciousness is actually part of our race consciousness. And if you ask somebody if they have any racist tendencies or beliefs or inclinations, some people will say yes. Some people will say no. Some people will say, no, I don't breathe argon when I'm taking an inhale. But what we have noticed as we've been paying attention to this, becoming more and more obvious, is that it's in the air. And pretending that it doesn't exist doesn't help us. What we need to do is acknowledge that that's what it is, because then we can take a look at it. Am I happy with the way that my life has been going up until now? And if we say yes, then we don't have to proceed with the rest of the questions. And if we say, well, maybe not, then we move on to that second question from Robert D. McDonald, which is, what experience do I want to be having instead? We can do that in visioning. We can just allow spirit to tell us what it is that is our highest and best, to guide us to a new idea of who and what we are and what we can be. The life visioning process is awesome. We go into a meditation and we let our ego be quiet and open up our inner ear and allow guidance. There's an infinite intelligence. There is one limitless power that knows everything. It is that from which everything flows, the creator. And that creator has created everything, and including each of us. We are creations of that one power and presence. And the mind that we're thinking with is a portion of that same mind. So all of the knowledge, all of the wisdom, all of the insight, all of the creativity, and all of the power to create that's available in that one mind is accessible to us. God knows how this is going to get better. And that's not a statement of exasperation. That's an acknowledgement of the truth and an opening to it. God knows. And I can open myself up to that and stop insisting that I'm not breathing in any argon and say, maybe I am. And then maybe, what does that mean? Maybe it doesn't mean anything. It's inert gas. Been there for, billions of years. Maybe it's not an issue and I can, just be okay with it. Just a data point. Or maybe there's something that I want to change about my life, about the way that I'm engaging with the world around me. I want to allow a new channel to open up. And we can allow the guidance to tell us not only what it is that we want to be experiencing instead, but what's ours to do. What are the steps that I can take? What are the actions that I can be involved in? What are the what are the new things that I can involve myself with to bring something new into my world? Pray and move your feet. It's left from the Quakers. Pray and move your feet. One of my sayings about that is, if you're lost in the woods, pray and begin walking. Spirit will guide you, your feet will carry you. But it takes both. Knowing how to get out of the woods without taking a step doesn't get you out of the woods. And walking without knowing where you're going is probably going to wind up in circles. So we get to engage. What experience do I want to be having instead? And Robert's third question is, once I have that new experience, how will I know that I have it? I want to be happy. Okay, well, exactly what's happy going to look like when happy shows up? It's kind of amorphous. Am I happier today than I was yesterday? Do I have a journal? Do I have notes? What's my yardstick? Do I just want to wake up in the morning and not feel unhappy? Really? That's my goal, is to not have something that I don't want? We get to be clear about what that experience is that we want to be having and how we'll know that we have it. That's one of the powerful things that we're going to be doing in the Circle of Eight intention setting group. Lynn McTaggart is very clear that we need to be specific about exactly what the intention is that we're going to be setting. And she has done groups and global intention experiments for over 10 years, and they'll do things like determine that they want the crime rate in a particular city to drop by 25%. And that's the intention that the group sets. And they get lots of people to focus their individual conscious awareness and intention on it. And then they measure the results. And they have gotten some astounding results. We're doing it in a small group. It's going to be, the power of 8 is because the ideal size for the group is 8. And so we're going to be going ahead and doing that. Being specific about the experience that we want to be having instead. And then reporting back, taking some measurements, taking some evaluations, sharing with the rest of the group what happened. And we're going to do that for a couple of months. And then at the end of a couple of months, we're going to decide if we want to keep doing it, if we want to have more groups, if we want to spread out, split up, reschedule, whatever that's going to be. But that's how we work the program. Instead of doing what we've always been doing, we get to be intentional and set that intention for the new experience we want to be having. I want to continue breathing in 1% argon. And I will be able to measure the atmosphere and say, yep, still breathing in 1% argon. And perhaps I would like there to be less carbon in the atmosphere for all sorts of reasons. That's actually the one that's been a big issue lately. So are there things that I can do about my carbon footprint? Yeah, there are. And I'm free to make those choices and take those steps. Is there white supremacy in the air? Yes, there is. Is there something that I can do about that? Yes, there is. And again, visioning, guidance, taking steps. And we're doing that together as a community as well. And in all these areas of our lives, and it can be, you know, somebody who wants to be able to lift more weights or walk, you know, a certain distance or take a hike or have a friend or learn something or whatever it's going to be. The first thing is to decide that that's the experience that we want to be having. And then the second is to get started and do it. And don't think, oh, I never can because of this, because of this, because of this. Start, do it, allow, open, embody. And whatever that newness is that we're inviting, which can be something very concrete and very specific in the world around us, or it can be really squishy. Whatever that experience is that we're inviting, the creative law in the universe that has created everything is saying yes. So as long as we are able to be clear about what it is that we want to have and set a specific intention about it, the universe is saying yes, and that good is available. So choose something great. Mike Dooley says, thoughts are things. Choose a good one. And we're free to do that all the time. And you can. And so I join you in knowing that the thoughts that you're choosing, the intentions that you're setting, the beliefs that you're letting go of and turning into new beliefs are bringing more love and more good into your world. And you deserve it. You're a bright light. So it is. Thank you.
And speaking of intention, there's a song that I wrote about the first thing that I try to do in the mornings, which is some breathing. And sometimes that's the simple and most immediate thing that we can do. So in talking about breathing, I encourage you to focus your breath on this song. I start the day breathing. Breathe in, breathe out, while sleep from my mind is leaving. Breathe in, breathe out, dread draped on like a blanket. Breathe in, breathe out, all I know is to take it. Breathe in, breathe out. And when night comes, it comes too soon, just as it falls on every corner of this room. It's calling me, it's calling me. That's how you'll find me. When night comes, it comes too soon, just as it falls on every corner of this room. It's calling me.
Thank you, Avi. That was beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bill, for the message. So now's the time we're going to do a little meditative practice. And luckily, I don't have to think too hard about what we're going to do because we're going to do some breathing meditation. Earlier I talked about Blowing in the Wind and how much I like that song. And the first time I heard that song, I was in elementary school at St. Mark's Elementary School in Hyattsville, Maryland. I was probably second grade, first, second, third grade, around that, sitting in a circle cross-legged, and there was a nun with a guitar, and she sang that song. And I don't know why in that moment it was so meaningful to me. Now over the years, every time I hear it, different arrangements, it's still so powerful to me on lots of different levels. And today I was struck by thinking about, the wind and how that's, the air, because that's what wind is, it's air moving, and tying that into what Bill was talking about with the argon and the idea that the air we're breathing is the same air essentially that Jesus breathed, that Muhammad breathed, that Krishna breathed, that all the prophets and all the teachers have breathed, and all creation has been breathing. And with the idea of consciousness and the answer being in the wind, whatever there is that we're seeking is in the wind, in that higher consciousness. And we can take opportunities to settle in and to deepen into that and to open to spirit guiding us. And if it's a new intention, if it's something else we want in our lives, we can open to that. And the answer is in the wind. So we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to take a breathing practice. It'll walk us through, and then we'll settle into some silence. So I invite you to just sit up straight if you can in your chair, your back straight, and just relax. Close your eyes if you're comfortable. Allow them to go to a soft focus. Just be here now in this moment. We are going to take a nice deep breath in fully and exhale fully. One more deep breath in and exhale fully. Allow your breathing to return to an even pace. When we think about breathing, like Avi's song, we breathe in and breathe out. There's two other pieces of that cycle. That's a moment between the breathing in and the breathing out. When our lungs are full before we exhale, and we empty out before we inhale. So we're going to take some time and focus on that. What we're going to do is we're going to breathe in for the count of 5. And then we're going to hold for the count of 5. Then we're going to exhale for a count of 5. We're going to hold for a count of 5. And I'll walk us through a couple of them and allow everyone to find their own rhythm. Breathing in, breathing out, and experience that space in between. And open to spirit, where the answer is blowing in the wind. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Just follow that pattern. Become aware. Become open to the wind.
Breathe in love. I breathe out peace. I breathe in love. I breathe out peace. There's one infinite power in presence. Spirit, nature, the creator, God, whatever it is that we call it, is that one from which everything flows. The breath of God is breathing me. I breathe in love. I breathe out peace. That divine love is right here, right now, in me and in each of us. We are conscious co-creators, using that same creative power that has created everything to create this next new experience of our lives. And so I know that each of us is divinely guided to the awareness of that which is the next perfect step. We open to it. We breathe it in. I breathe in love. We let go of anything that is no longer serving us. Breathe out. Surrender. Peaceful. And I know that through this process, each of us is being guided to whatever that next new experience is, whatever that next new invitation is. That invites and allows and inspires that creative power that creates everything to create yet another new experience in our lives. We're choosing well, we're setting clear intentions. We're inviting wonderful newness into our lives. And the universe is saying yes. This is the creative process. It's underway now. It's as natural for us as breathing. And so I claim it for each of us. Whatever this good is, that's our next perfect step. We're informed of it. We are inspired by it. We are open to it. We let anything that's not like it move away. And I'm grateful for the wonderful way that this is appearing as delightful new experiences, as new spiritual practices or learnings, as powerful new intentions, as new ideas that transform our lives, as bold steps that transform our world. I am grateful for all the good that's already unfolding. I'm grateful for the awareness of this creative law, and I'm grateful to be able to speak this word of intention into that law, knowing without any question whatsoever that the law is saying yes. That's what the law does. It once again is saying yes. And with grateful confidence that this good is already underway. It's already unfolding into our lives. With all of this gratitude, I release this word and I let the law do what it does. It says yes, and so it is. So I invite you to take one more deep breath in and a deep intentional breath out. Return your attention to your body, maybe wiggle your fingers and toes, bring some motion back in, and bring your attention back into the Zoom as Avi does another song for us.
This is a song by Ingrid Michaelson. The storm is coming, but I don't mind. People are hurting, I close my blinds. All that I know is I'm breathing now. I wanna change the world instead. I sleep. I want to believe in more than you and me. All I can do is keep breathing. All that I know is I'm breathing. All we can do is keep breathing now. All that I know is I'm breathing. All I can do is keep breathing. All we can do is keep breathing. All we can do is keep breathing now.
Beautiful, and beautiful song choice, as it has been all morning. Thank you, Avi. So we like to say that the posse is the preacher. I tee up some ideas, but it's always fascinating to see how they're landing on you guys. So if there's somebody who has an insight or an inspiration or something that's come up for you this morning that you'd like to give voice to, just go ahead and wave your hand. You can unmute and share it with the group. Cool. That means it's going to take us a while to process this. That's fun. Okay. Yeah, Ty, 3 or 4 different stories together into this morning's talk. And it's possible that later today or later this week or sometime when you're old, pieces will connect and you'll go, oh, in which case feel free to share at that point. We're involved in an immense creative process that is always creating, and it's liable to be creating something new and wonderful for you. Sarah?
Your contributions. The gift you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. You don't have a basket today, but there is a donate button on the homepage. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is up on the screen, and you can say it with me. We live.
Have an abundant universe.
I am
I'm
one
one with the infinite source of all good.
I am a
I'm the
center.
center of
Conscious
conscious prosperity.
prosperity.
I
I
enjoy
enjoy the richness of life.
I bless
I
my
bless
Bless my gift.
I share
I share my gift with gratitude and joy.
I know that
I
as
know
I
that as I give, I do
Do
receive. So it is.
So it is.
All right, so for one last song, whenever I'm with you, and I'm so glad to be with you again for another beautiful Sunday, I hope you'll join me in a song of mine that's hopefully uplifting and optimistic, talking about brighter days ahead, and it's certainly a sing-along song, so even though we are on the Zoom, probably better to keep muted so we don't sing over each other, but you can certainly sing with me wherever you are, in whatever room you are in, and I hope that you will. It's called Passover. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun. A storm's about to appear, and not a thing will be dry. But the skies, they always clear. It's just a matter of time. And this dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun. We're stuck with nowhere to go. It's quite a disheartening thing. But instead of getting low, let's get together and sing. Let's sing. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun. Said this dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun. I see you're feeling blue. Life's not how you want it to be. So until the sun shines through, you can sing along with me. Here we go. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun. Said this dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun. One more time, this dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will soon pass over. This dark cloud will pass, and there will be sun.
Hey. Thank you, Avi, and thank you, everybody. What a wonderful, wonderful morning to have together. Go ahead and unmute your microphone. Put down your bubble or don't. I love that Sarah's outside with the bubbles today. And reach out and figuratively take the hand of the person in the Zoom nearest to you and repeat after me. I am love.
I am.
I am love.
I am light.
I am
Light.
I let the love flow.
I let the love flow.
I let my light shine.
I let my light shine.
I breathe in love.
I breathe in love.
I breathe out peace.
I breathe out peace.
And so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
Thank you guys so much for being here.
I'd like to say something to Avi about his music
Mm-hmm.
and how far-reaching it is, because it brought my cat into my lap, and there's two bunnies sitting out front of my door. So you've
Like a Disney movie. I
I
love
was
it.
just gonna say that's right.
I love it. Thank you. That's the biggest compliment.
You're welcome.
Give your cat a good pet for me.
All right.
Thank
Once you
you.
started singing, she came over. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
she-
wonderful.